Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mihir Hati, and this is Comfortable Talks, a podcast or a show where we basically talk about each other and each other's lives, but also talk about something that connects each other, all of us. Tonight, here with us, we have Josh Schuning, who is a professional wrestler and someone who is an inspiration and someone who I actually want to fight, but does not really allow me to fight with him. Hi, Josh. How are you?
Hello, everyone. My name is Josh.
I'm great, Mihir.
Professional wrestling's
Awesome.
resident
Pleasure to be on the
cryptocurrency.
show. The name is very fitting. I am so comfortable right now. It's perfect.
Okay, so before we have anything, let's just look at a small trailer that we produced for you.
Oh, sure.
If that's okay?
Absolutely.
Let's play that.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joshua Schuning. Professional wrestling's resident cryptocurrency expert. Down here in my awesome office on Bay Street in the absolutely gorgeous downtown Toronto, Ontario. We hand out beatings, we invest in Bitcoin, and we ride it all the way to the moon. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want some of the finest, hard-hitting,
Josh is up and down, drives those feet, double foot stomp, through the chest, hooks the leg, 1, 2, 3, and jumping.
and high-flying professional wrestling action,
apart. And here comes a clothesline that misses, and Devil Josh counters with a kick right along the jawline. Up there, look at that flying clothesline. Are you kidding me? Look at that!
No!
From way up high.
that your money can buy. Invest in the best and forget all the rest. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to invest in the finest professional wrestling prospect all the way from Southern Alberta, making his way into Southern Ontario professional wrestling. It's time to invest in Joshua Schuning. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see the best professional wrestling action that your money can buy and even make a few dollars on the side too, it's time to invest in the best. Forget all the rest. Invest in Joshua Schuning.
Joshua Schuning is not a real investor. His investing advice should not be taken seriously by anyone whatsoever and will not be held responsible for any sorts of lost profits. If there are any questions, comments, or concerns, please direct them to Mr. Schuning's social media team at Instagram at Joshua Schuning PW, on Facebook at Joshua Schuning Wrestling, and on Twitter.
Oh my goodness, that was extreme. That was really extreme. Josh, how do you survive that and the Canadian winter? Because considering that you're from Alberta, well, you survived something two most extreme things. How do you do that?
I don't know. I guess just being from Alberta, it comes naturally. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have any brothers or sisters, so the toughness kind of came through the wrestling. But yeah, no, it keeps me out of trouble for the most part.
True. If you're live right now, if you're watching this live, make sure you can comment down below. You can ask certain questions to us so that, we can ask Josh about his journey a little bit. About your journey, you started your journey from Alberta, started wrestling there, gained ranks, you met with a lot of headhunters, and you also had your, fair share of losses.
Sure.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your journey starting in just sparring with someone and then getting to that ring?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started my training when I was about 16, 17. So I've been wrestling for maybe 5 years in June this year. So yeah, it was weird. There's just a lot of small world connections to the promotion back home where I'm from, Lethbridge, Pure Power Wrestling. I just reached out to them, and the head trainer, Kyle Sebastian, one of the head trainers, said, yep, show up on this day for practice, and it was just off to the races from there. It took me 8 months of training before I had my first match. And yeah, it was pretty much, I just kept my nose to the grindstone. Next thing I know, I'm a 2-time cruiserweight champion, had the belt and all, and just I needed a fresh start, which brought me out east here. So yeah, finished up everything I guess could have done out west and needed a new beginning out east.
That seems That just seems like a long, long journey that you've had. Can you tell us what's the best memory of you wrestling in the ring, that is, or it can be even out of the ring, but one of the best memories that you will cherish forever?
Absolutely. When it comes to in the ring, really there's nothing quite else like, I can't even describe it and put it into words to you, how it feels. When you can really feel an audience start to believe in you, right? And that's one of the coolest things in the world, because as soon as you're done, you get the same looks that, say, Superman or Batman or Spider-Man would when he comes and saves the day and high fives all the little guys. It's pretty much exactly the same, and that's one of the coolest feelings in the world. But yeah, out of the ring, a lot of it is the camaraderie and hanging with the boys.
Hanging with
With the boys, exactly that. And that's the best way I can describe it. I've met easily some of the best friends I have made for life through it. So I'm super thankful of everyone that I've met through wrestling.
That's true. Wrestling. Do you say wrestling or wrestling?
It depends if I'm with the boys. For the most part, yes. Because a lot of the times, sometimes if somebody doesn't quite get it,
Yeah.
they'll say, that's like say in the Summer Olympics, you'd see Olympic style wrestling, or is that MMA, UFC? Well,
Yeah.
not quite. So I always go pro wrestling.
That's great. So we have certain videos of you fighting.
Oh, do we?
And we just
Oh,
got
boy.
that from some places. We have excellent
I
researchers.
was gonna say, you guys got good sources.
So let's play that video.
And finishing bleacher, ladies and gentlemen. A couple forearm shots. Attempted an Irish whip. Sebastian's got him up. And a big center body slam. Hits the leg. Michinoku driver. This could be huge. Thunderstone. Hear that jumping just unbelievable. Unable to literally and figuratively damage to his own hand. Jumping Josh.
One moment. Sees everything you ever wanted. One moment. Sees everything you ever wanted.
Well, thanks, Mihir. That's about all there is from me. Let's switch gears a little bit. We talked a little bit of sports entertainment. Let's move to a brand new, kind of a really fast, quickly rising form of sports, esports. Alex Cruikshank of Cyro Stims. Yep. Perfect. So, Alex, what can you kind of tell us? I'll be honest, I'm pretty new to esports. I don't know a ton about it. I know, of course, there's League of Legends, Counter-Strike. What's going on with esports these days?
Well, with esports, basically, if it's a video game, there is probably a competitive scene for it. So esports in general refers to the professional scene. So that's where you get a lot of the tournaments, the big money, the sponsors, the orgs that have really started largest ones, but in terms of global esports, you definitely have League of Legends, Dota, Counter-Strike is another classic. Those are the really big titles that draw in the names. And here at Conestoga, we have our second year of Condors Esports. And so far, we're off to a little bit of mediocre success. We could be doing better, but we could also be doing a whole lot worse.
Sure, always got to start from somewhere. So you mentioned Conestoga is involved in esports. What kind of esports are they involved in?
Well, Conestoga Esports, we are involved in 4 different titles. We have League of Legends, Rocket League, Overwatch, and Valorant. And so each of those compete in a league called OPSE, which is Ontario Post-Secondary Esports. And it is the only league that we officially compete in. But yeah, so far so good. We are wrapping up our regular season right now for our second year. But overall, it's not too bad. As I mentioned earlier, we could be doing better, but we could be doing worse. So I'll take it for what we have right now, actually.
Sure. All right, let's switch gears a little bit, Alex. So we mentioned what Conestoga is doing in esports. What kind of projects have you got on the go?
Oh, well, me personally, I am a starter for the League of Legends team on Conestoga. So that keeps me busy, but I'm also a showcaster. And my primary gig is doing the League of Legends showcasting. However, I do also do Rocket League as well. Trying to get gigs in both those game titles can be a little bit tiresome or difficult at times because, you know, gig economy and all that fun jazz, but it's something I'm passionate about. It's something I'm chasing down, and I've definitely developed quite a bit of experience casting for OPSC, and what can I say? I'm having a blast and enjoying doing it.
That's what it's all about, Alex. So let's move back to kind of esports competition. What kind of prizes are these guys playing for?
Ooh, well, in OPSC, they are playing for scholarship prize money. So it's not a huge sum, but it's still a few $1,000s per winning team. So, you know, at the end of the day, that pays for a couple courses. Definitely puts a dent in the student loans at least. But the pros, I know the pros can be playing for millions of dollars in some of their tournaments. They are also salaried. So there's decent money, especially when you add in the sponsorships and whatnot. But I think the largest prize pool generally goes towards Dota, which is crowdfunded, and they have I believe up to a $6 million prize pool for a single tournament, which is pretty outstanding.
Sure, we just want to remind the folks at home we are live, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Ask the boys some questions. So Alex, we put together kind of a little trailer for you here. Let's take a peek at that.
Oh hi, and welcome to The Rift. Like the shopkeeper over here, it's my job to provide you with the necessities. My pride and joy is being Flex on-air talent, whether that's being a host, a colorcaster, a play-by-play, or an interviewer. I'm able to do it all. And dare I say, I do it well. Now, to get down to a little bit of business, like my endearing friend here, and like you, I get to look down upon the Rift, I get to watch the magic and history unfold, and then I get to bring it to life. The host. Well, here we are. Welcome to week 3. Welcome to week 5. Tonight, we start off with the Battle of the Birds. The circus must be in town because we just witnessed a clown fiesta. We're going to throw it to a break, so we'll see you on the other side. Welcome back. Welcome back. We're jumping into game 2, picking up their first win. The Colorcaster. I think it's free with an asterisk because they are doing Envision, had the vision, had the pick. They did hit level 2 and crashed nearly a wave and a half. With the better back timers, they are definitely controlling overall game state right now. The extra bit of damage coming out of the Georgian Grizzlies was massive. The play-by-play. The fight isn't over, and Lynx is just off to the side firing away. Does ult over the wall to try and get some in the back. Going to get the Kai'Sa reset and is going to start doing damage. However, the damage is coming down onto Eiko, who has to ult out. And that is the Scion and the Blitzcrank going down. However, a massive Lissandra engage. He's in 1v3. He goes in aggressive. He does pick up 2. Tyson is burning down with his Xin Zhao sitting off to the side. But he doesn't find the wind before lightning. He isn't able to get in. And now the fight breaks out. But the bullet time coming out from the MF, and it's absolutely huge. The interviewer. We do have an interview here, the man himself.
Right on, Alex. So another question I had for you, especially about like kind of league esports as well. How does a team run? Is there practices, tryouts? How does that all work?
Well, a team should run like a well-oiled machine, but like any team event, there will be hiccups and challenges and unexpected events. But generally, it's like most traditional sports. That's how it's structured because that's how people know how to run it. So you generally will have the head coach that runs it, then assistant coaches or positional coaches. The well-off teams or bigger organizations, they will include analysts that go for a specific position, to enemy strategies, to your strategies. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes positions that people may not realize. But for League, it's generally comprised of your 5 key players, which are your starters. And then most tournaments, organizations will allow 2 substitutes for your roster. And generally beyond that, you get a coach. So you try and run scrims, you try and do tournaments when you can. But in today's day and age, scheduling can be a little bit of an interesting uphill battle, we'll say.
Sure, Alex. Well, thanks for joining with us. We got a little bit of another highlight package here. We're just about running out of time here, so we got to move on. Sorry. Pleasure having you on the show, my friend. Well, let's get into our little highlight package we have for you.
Hi, and thank you for joining me today. And today, I want to talk a little bit about the spoon theory and how I understand and interact with it. And no, it's not the cuddle position, as that is infinitely more fun. Maybe another video, I'll talk about some of the concepts of that. But right now, it's the spoon theory. So what is it? Well, the spoon theory was originally created by Christine Miserandino as a way to express how it felt to live with lupus. I first heard of it and learned of it in relation to depression and anxiety, which are two things I struggle with. But that's not actually what it is it? So my understanding of it is that it is a visual way to represent the mental and physical energy needed to make it throughout the day, to do all the day's activities, to get them done, and to demonstrate that it is a limited resource that you can run out of. It can be replenished and recharged, but it is still limited. And even that definition there, I feel, is a bit abstract. And
I want to thank Alex again for joining the show. Coming up next, Katie Cantonese. How's it going today, Katie?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad, thank you for asking. So what do we have coming up here for you, Katie? What are you working on these days?
I am a mental health awareness advocate, so that's what I have coming up.
Perfect, right on. What sort of projects are you working on these days?
Videos, blogs on ways that you can reduce stress, reduce anxiety, all that kind of stuff. Mindfulness, ways you can change your negative habits and thoughts.
Sure. So, of course, all of us being college students, we all deal with a lot of those types of things. What kind of tips do you have for like dealing with anxiety, you know, keeping up with your good mental wellness? What kind of tips do you have for the folks at home watching us here live on YouTube?
Personally, what helps my anxiety is making sure I stay organized. So I usually write down the assignments I need to do when they're due and highlight them when they're done. This is all related to like college stuff, of course. Yeah, that's what I'm working on. And TikToks, to be honest. Yeah, I'm on TikTok. I make a lot of TikToks. Yeah.
Right on. So, big into TikTok, hey?
Yeah.
Aren't we all these days? Tell me what kind of TikToks you're making.
It is a combination of just kind of like humorous, and then there's some more serious notes where I talk about mental health issues and like signs of anxiety that you didn't know, signs of depression that you may have not known, all of that kind of stuff. Because sometimes like everyday symptoms are part of anxiety and depression, but you don't know that.
Right on, Katie. Well, thanks for sharing those tips. We got a little bit of a trailer for the projects you have, your brand, your social medias, all that good stuff. Let's get into that.
Hi, I'm Katie Cantonese, and I'm a mental health awareness advocate. Mental health issues among children and young adults are on the rise. These thoughts and feelings can be confusing. I'm here to share my experiences and let you know that it's okay to not be okay. I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety at a very young age. I was terrified because I didn't understand what I was feeling or why I was feeling that way. Not to mention, I had no knowledge about what mental illness was. Mental illness doesn't really go away. You just learn to grow and become bigger than it. You figure out and learn ways to cope and find out what works for you, whether that be with the use of medication or other healthy coping habits or a combination of both. I cope with mental health issues every day, and throughout the years I've noticed that sharing my experiences with others is one of my coping mechanisms. I want to be able to help those who may be confused and scared like I was. I will be sharing my continuous journey through articles, videos, and social media posts. And I'm hoping that in the near future I can get out there again and do live events and like Q&As and stuff. If you're having an event soon and would like me to be a part of it, or you just want to reach out and talk, you can find me on my website at katiecanzanese.com.
So I got to mention, in your trailer there, working with Global News, how was that?
It was an amazing experience, to be honest. I wasn't really expecting it. They kind of showed up at my high school one day. We knew they were coming, but we didn't know what exactly they were doing. And then they targeted me and said, hey, like, we've been watching you and how you work and how you speak with everyone, a part of the mental health awareness group. And they said, can we do an interview with you? Can we make the story, not the story about me, but the story, can we put you in our story? And I was like, for sure, I would love to be a part of it. And that's kind of where that came from. It was kind of on the spot, but it was an amazing experience to be able to see myself on live television with everyone in my family, my community, my classmates, talking about such a strong subject.
No kidding. It's always super exciting to work with those guys, especially in industry. Well, we got a little bit of a highlight package of some of the projects you've worked on and some things you've been a part of. So let's get to that.
When I was in grade 7, I was going through a really hard time where I wasn't like eating properly, I wasn't sleeping, I was really depressed.
I was always a very happy person until I kind of hit a curveball and I just wasn't happy. Very bad, very, very bad anxiety.
Depressed, confused, scared, worried. Kids would always make fun of me for not telling time or doing math a different way or being put with the computer in elementary school. I would cry in the bathrooms because I didn't know how to handle myself.
I was a victim of severe bullying from like 3rd, 4th grade up until about 6th, 7th grade. So I didn't know at the time that I was dealing with mental health issues. You don't really get taught, oh, hey, this is depression or this is anxiety when you're so young. And then it wasn't until grade 11 year that I found out.
I was going downhill really fast and it was really scary because I didn't know what it was. And then I finally came to a breaking point where I had to be hospitalized, and then I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and then I was put on medications, and then I'm still on them now.
I was diagnosed severely depressed and with severe social anxiety, and I'm a recovering anorexic. My mom had discovered that I'd been hiding food and that I hadn't been eating and that I'd been binging on stuff and avoiding meals and avoiding proper foods. And then she confronted me, and then shortly after, I remember we went bathing suit shopping and she noticed my scars and stuff like that and went, when did this all go on and how did I miss it?
I think I definitely had my own stigma. So when I had my own experience with that, I definitely was less open to expressing how I was feeling to other people, especially my friends, because I know that some of them have a stigma towards mental health and they think that it's a bad thing, or they won't want to, and I thought they wouldn't want to be around me necessarily because I'd bring down their moods.
Some teachers don't accept or don't really understand mental health, so if a student's missed a couple days of school or is late in an assignment and they explain like, sorry, like I've been feeling off, like my mental health isn't great, they won't take that as an answer. They're not supportive of it, so they're scared to reach out and it puts pressure on them.
In my family, there's a past of mental illness struggles on my dad's side with depression and postpartum depression. And when I would try to talk about what I was feeling, I would get told to just suck it up, put on a brave face, stick through it, you'll be fine later. You're just tired, you're just hungry, or things like that. Or if I was not hungry and I was trying to avoid eating, it was, you'll feel better if you eat. So it was just kind of like brushed off and not really faced head on with what was actually going on.
My mom does work in the mental health field and she's also a nurse, so she started picking up on things and she was like trying to help me out.
The people around me have really helped me manage my stress and manage my bad mental health.
My French teacher would talk to me about it and help me out, or my mom would help me out through it. They would always talk to me and say, just go through it and go through the days and make them good days, not make them bad days. And don't reflect on what happened in the bad ways, just reflect on it in a good way.
Katie again for joining the show. Ladies and gentlemen, watching at home on YouTube, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Ask the folks on the show some questions. So let's shift gears a little bit. Today, joining the show, we have Mihir Hathi of Hathi Talks. Welcome, Mihir.
And we are here back again.
I was gonna say, I feel like I just saw you.
It kind of feels like a deja vu, you would say, right?
Yeah. You've been here before.
I've been here before. It kind of feels like this is something that I've seen, right? Yeah.
Right on, buddy. So, Hathi Talks.
Yeah.
Your brand. Tell me a little bit about what it is.
It's basically, ever since I was a little kid, I was notorious for talking in the middle of the class. So I made it into my brand. If people are telling me not to talk, I'd rather go out and talk. But on a serious note, Hathi Talk is basically me being a journalist, me being, taking out stories that I thought, are not out there a lot yet. And me talking about things that, are stigma, maybe. So it's just me trying to portray myself in the best way possible and trying to bring happiness and positivity into the world. That's what Hathi Talk is.
That's a great answer. That's something the world definitely needs a lot of, especially in the last few years. Things kind of turned upside down there. So we got a bit of a trailer here for Hathi Talks.
Oh.
Let's take a look.
Oh, that's great. My name is Mihir Hathi and this is Hathi Talks. This is the line you hear me say every time in every single video. But what exactly is Hathi Talks? Well, let's find out. There has never been a time in human history where information is as readily available as it is today, but with so much information living online, new issues arise. Misinformation, disinformation, and something known as confirmation bias is a cognitive bias where we seek out information to prove something that we already know. In times where we are overwhelmed and at times drowned by the amount of news available for every single category that is out there, I provide additional manpower services to media houses and decrease production woes that will ensure that no stories go untold or unheard. From ideation to post-production, Hathi Talks is a platform where I help you get the news and cut out the BS. I give you unadulterated, unfiltered, unbiased, and simplified news so that you don't have to go to different sources to find what's true and what's not. I double check every single piece of information so that you don't have to. From interviews with mayor-elect before elections,
understand one another. That's actually the beautiful part about the diversity of Edison Township.
To trailer review with a Marvel Cinematic Universe fan.
Classic comic book look, and
Yes.
he's more of a character.
From product review, the outer exterior or the outer build is made out of rubber, so it really doesn't slip out of your hand that easily. To giving news about how your passwords are easy to crack. Was Canada. It was the 15th most used term. From curating to creating, you'd find everything on Hathi Talks. So what are you waiting for? Follow Hathi Talks on every single social media platform out there. The link is in the description. And subscribe to Hathi Talks on YouTube. And if you are an old soul and an old school like I am, you can go to hathitalks.com and subscribe to our mailing list. We'd send you a mail every single week so that you get to know what news you missed this week. So what are you waiting for? Welcome to Hathi Talks community.
Perfect. Well, thanks for sharing that, Mihir. Tell me a little bit about what it's like being a journalist right now.
It's a bit difficult, being very honest. And coming from a country where I am originally from, being a journalist is, well, it was a profession that was looked up upon. Now it's looked down, because misinformation and disinformation, something that I talked about in my trailer, is something that is extremely prevalent. And with the incoming of social media applications like Facebook, the misinformation and disinformation has been spreading like a wildfire. It's been said before that the truth will be tying its shoelace and the lie will be halfway across the world. It's something like that. So it's a bit difficult, but it's something that I always wanted to do. It's something that I really, really wish to do, and well, this is my journey. And fortunately, a Canadian actually guided me towards my dream, and his name is Hassan Minhaj, if you know him.
I can't say I do. I believe the name is familiar. But
yeah, he's a comedian, as am I. I think so. He's a comedian, but he also has a show where he disseminates and dissects information and discusses it while also having a small bit of a comedic relief, and that's what I'm working on at the moment.
Well, if you're not laughing, you're not doing it right. So let's go back to social media there.
Yeah.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, what have you. I understand you put together a little piece about passwords.
Oh yeah. So Canadians in 2021 used tons and tons of password. Like your password, can you tell me your password, please?
Not on camera, no.
Oh, not on camera, all right. But usually the passwords that were more prevalent, it was done, a survey was done by Nord company, and NordPass company that is, I'm really sorry. That was done, and the most common passwords to crack, there was a list of 150, and on the top of it was Canada 1.
Oh.
Or Canada.
No.
Or I love Canada.
Well, I mean, creative,
Yeah.
very patriotic.
Extremely.
But we do have a link to that. Let's take a look at your piece about passwords.
Let's do that. Cybersecurity company NordPass just released its top 200 most used and easy to crack passwords that Canadians have been using for this entire year. This year's list of most common passwords that were used in Canada consisted of QWERTY, password, ABC123 and different variants of the numericals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These passwords were also common in different parts of the world and in different countries. But then let's talk about the specifics and get to Canada as to what were the passwords that we used as Canadians to secure ourselves. The password that dominated geographic location wise for Canada was Canada. It was the 15th most used term. The passwords such as password, ABC123, 123456 and so on that were comparatively easier to guess took only less than 1 second of time to crack. Other common country related passwords that topped the list were Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, Kitchener and also Canada 1. I don't know why people feel like Canada 1 might make it safer than Canada. Sports was also found to be a popular theme in Canadian passwords. So yes, you guessed it right, hockey took the 15th spot in the most used passwords in Canada, with soccer, American football, or actually just football, being there on the list, but way down. There were also differences in password when we divide it between men and women. Men tend to use hockey more, actually 3 times more than women, whereas women use passwords such as I love you with no spaces, sunshine and princess. Researchers also found that people started using their own names in the password, and the one name that stood out and made it to the top 10 list was Tiffany. There were other names such as Andrew, Michelle, Michael, and so on and so forth. NordPass said that out of 200, 144 of those passwords were so easy to crack that it took them less than 5 seconds to crack those passwords. Others might have taken a little bit more time, but they were eventually cracked. So what can you do to save yourself in the cyberspace? Because now every day we are right there on our Facebook, on Instagram, on Gmail, on every single thing. Most of our part of life is out there on the internet. What can you do to save yourself? Well, NordPass recommends that you use a 12-character long password that has an alphanumerical and a symbol between those 12 characters. Also use uppercase and lowercase, and also when you create a password, try to store it at a place where you can find it easily if you forget. Start using double authentication and start using double authenticators that are provided by Google, Microsoft, to have a double layer of security when someone tries to access your account. And please, oh please, stop using QWERTY, 123 and ABC as your password. It's not gonna help you out. Be safe, be kind. Also, HathiTalks.com is now available and you can join the mailing list. So like, share, subscribe to Hathi Talks so you can be updated about the next video when it.
There you go, folks. Password 123 is not a great option for your Facebook passwords. Mihir, thank you very much for being on Comfortable Talks. You're a great guest. All of our guests were fantastic. Folks at home, we're live on YouTube, so make sure you're liking, commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff. Thank you very much for watching Comfortable Talks. My name is Joshua Schuning. It's been an absolute pleasure hosting the show. And yeah, that's about all we have for you guys today. So have a good one. Take care. Get home safe.